So,
Yes, sir.
so we will continue from string and let's see how far we can go today. So I say x equal to signal systems. Then I'm writing print x bracket 2 is to 5, right? Then I'm running. Another thing, again I'm writing print within the brackets like this. Suppose 5 is to 1.
Hello, sir. Your sound is not coming, sir.
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Print x suppose 2. string slicing. This one is called the negative indexing. And this is basically the indexing of string. So the first one is basically a string slicing. I'm using signal and system. The signal and system is a string which is stored in a variable x. Now I want to print the value. So I'm taking 2:5. That means the starting value is 2. So 0, 1, and 2. So it starts with G. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So if the string value starts from 2 and ends with 5, then it must be GNAL. So why it is GNA? Can you tell me?
Sir, index start with 0
No, why it is GNA?
because at the second two position G and the fifth position A.
Fifth position is A. Is the fifth position is A.
No, sir. L.
L.
So the fifth position is L, but it's showing GNA. Why?
Because it takes only the is inside the string between 2 to 5.
Yes, the starting value, if it goes from 2 to 5, so the output should be GNAL, but it is showing GNA. Why?
Sir, could you please explain this?
I can explain. So the thing is that before I explain, anyone can able to try this? The Python takes the value of n-1, right? So when the string slicing, when indexing come, the Python takes the value, the index value of the Python is the n-1. So if it is 2:5, it will count to up to it will count up to 4. If it is 2:6, then it count up to 5, because the index value of the Python is n-1. So if it is 2:5, it will count to up to 4, that is GNA. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is why it is GNA. Because the index value of Python is n minus 1. Okay.
Sir, can you please explain once more?
Python takes the index value n minus 1. So if I say hello world, if it is demarcated as X, and if I write print X, suppose 3 is 2. Eight. What will be the output? If the Python takes the index value of n minus 1, then what will be this output?
LO space WOR.
So 0, 1, 2, 3, that means L, O, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6,
W.
7. This would be the output. Right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So because the Python takes the index value of n minus 1. Negative indexing, in the negative indexing, signal and system is stored in the variable x. Now, x in this bracket, it is given minus 5 is to minus 2. So, in minus 2, when we count from minus 5 to minus 2, we will count from this end. So, this is minus 1, this is 0, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So the output is ST, right? This is negative
Sir,
indexing.
sir, can you please repeat this once more?
Now, in case of negative indexing, we will count from right hand side to left hand side. So this is, we will start with this index value with 0. This is because the Python by default takes the value 0. So 0, minus 1, minus 2, that is E, minus 3, that is T, minus 4, that is S, then minus 5. So it will go up to minus 4. So ST.
Okay, sir.
right? Now in string, the indexing in Python indexing, it is represented by this square bracket. When we designate, when we identify what, when we say that index value in Python with this print function, this is basically a print function. The function name is print. In this print function, that is within the argument, I am passing the value 2 with the variable name x, which is the string. So if I say that 0, so the index value is 2. So 2 means it starts with 0 from this end. So 0, 1, 2. So the output is G. So in Python, the indexing is represented by this square bracket. When we define with the square bracket, it signifies indexing. Right? I say that X, okay, I am using this one. Right. Then I'm writing print X dot replace within double inverted comma, suppose suppose I want to replace capital S, capital S, uh, with suppose with capital T. Right. Was what it happens. So the function, the first letter, the first character is replaced with T. So here I am using within the function, within this print function, I am using the function name replace. The function name replace by what I want to replace, this string. I want to replace a particular character in from this string. So I am using the replace function. So in order to replace a particular character from the string, I have to access the string. So the string is stored in the variable X. So if I want to access that particular string, I have to use this dot operator. So x dot replace this dot, then replacing the function with capital S with the D, and I'm getting the output over here. So this is basically the replace function in string. Replace function in string. Now, if I use txt, suppose I'm writing network synthesis is an important chapter in circuit theory. Now I am writing suppose I'm writing x equal to I'm using syn suppose capital S yn in txt, and then I'm printing the value of x. Okay. Yes. So if I say syn and then I'm printing the value of x, right? So can you tell me what is happening over here?
Sir, which one, sir?
So in
Six.
line number 6, X is justifying that syn is present in the above string or not.
And the line number 7 and the input 7.
And the input 7 is showing that small syn is not present in the txt string. That's why it's giving false.
So this is basically not a string. This is basically a text. So I'm writing the network synthesis is an important chapter in circuit theory. This text is stored in the variable named txt. Now I'm using the syn, right? This character, this string, whether this string is in the given text or not. So this syn, this given string, whether it is present in this text or not. So I'm writing syn in. This in is basically an operator, in operator, which is searching. This operator is searching whether this string is present in this text or not. So syn in text, in this text, that is in the given text, and I'm storing this whole thing in a variable called named x, and then I'm printing the value of x. In the output it gives a boolean value that it is yes, the syn is in the given string. So the output is a boolean which shows it is true. In the input 7, the when I'm searching this syn, or that is the small syn, which is different from this, so this syn is not present in the given text, and this searching is done by in operator, and hence it gives the output value, a boolean value, false, which signifies that this syn is not in the given text, so it is false. So this is basically, these two basically checking checking the string. This is the simple one. Suppose I say it's equal to x equal to time, and y equal to variant, right? Then suppose z is equal to, if I say z is equal to x plus y, and then I'm printing the value of z, time variant. Now I do in this way. Let's see whether it is happening or not. Z is equal to X plus, of course, Y, right? Then I'm printing the value of Z. Yes. Riya Chakravarti. Are you there? Riya Chakravarti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain this?
So in 8, it is printing the value of Z. That is clear. I don't think there is any difference.
What is happening here?
So you are adding space between time and variant. I mean y and z, x and y.
Okay. Hmm. Gargi বিশ্বাস,
Yes, sir.
can you explain it?
In 8, you add x and y, and the output z is time variant without any space. But in 9, you add x with space, then again add y with that. So that's why we get time, then space, and then variant.
Kaushik Bera,
Yes, sir.
can you explain it?
So point number 8 is clear. Z is equal to x plus y print z the time variant. But number 8 is not clear.
The thing is that the time is a string which is stored in a variable x. Variant is a string which is stored in a variable y. When I'm using z is equal to x plus y, that means I'm concatenating this two string. This two string is concatenated and I'm getting the output as time variant.
Yes,
In
sir.
the input 8 and in the input 9, I'm just using a space between the x and y, and the concatenation of the string is taken place, which gives the output time variant. So this is basically a concatenation of string. Okay, Kaushik Bera. Now, if I use a text,
Sir, you are not audible.
Now audible.
Yes. Say,
Okay. In the text, I'm writing that Z transform is an important topic in signal and systems. Suppose it I'm writing Z over here. Right. So in the given tables x equal to, just get x equal to txt, if I say txt dot capitalize capitalize and then I'm printing the value of x. Will happen, right? Mm, if I say Z transform. What? Com. So what is happening in the first one? Can you explain?
It's getting the text is capitalizing sir, the first letter in 10. So I have a
Small
doubt, sir.
z is changed to capital Z.
Why? Why no? Why not the next one? Why not all the characters are not in capital? Why the only the first one is capital?
Yeah, that's my doubt, sir.
Can you say?
So in the second one, you didn't define what is X. That's why it is showing error.
I'm not talking about the second one. I am talking about the first one. No. Tell me why the first one in the first text, only the Z is transformed from small case to from lowercase to uppercase. Why? If I use the in the last class, if I mentioned explicitly the two function, one is the lowercase and other is uppercase. If I use the uppercase function, then all the characters will be transformed into the uppercase, that is in capital. But if I use the capitalize function, then only the first character of the text will be transformed into capital and rest will be remain in small letters. So this capitalize function only transform the first character into the uppercase. So that is why we use, that is why the text, in order to access the function capitalize, I use the dot operator. So txt dot capitalize, and I am only capitalizing the first character of the text, and therefore the first character is transformed into capital, and then I'm printing the value of x. In the second one, I'm using the count function. The count function signifies that how many characters are counted in the string, or how many string characters are in the given text. That is the count function. Here the Z transform has been repeated in twice. That is why the output is given 2, right? So this is for the count function. This is the count function.
Sir, one question.
Yes. Capitalize. Yes.
Sir, why we are used capitalize fast bracket?
This capitalize is basically the function, right? So this text is the variable. In order to access the function, I have to use, this is the function name. Capitalize is a function name, and this two bracket is basically the argument. Any function parameters can be passed through this argument. So any function is defined by this. So this is function definition. The function definition should be a function name. What is the prototype of the function definition? The function name and the argument. So I have to, in order to make this first character into the capital, I have to access this capitalized function, and this capitalized function is accessed by this dot operator. So I want to transform this Z into capital, and this Z is defined in the variable txt. So I am using variable name dot function name. Variable name dot the function name. So when I'm using the, when I'm accessing this variable within this variable, this text is defined. So when I'm using this capitalized function, the first character of the text will be transformed into capital, and then I'm printing the value of x, and the first character will be transformed into this capital, that is the capital Z.
Sir, sir, if we have to change the whole text into uppercase, then
Then
which
we can use uppercase function. In the last class, I had shown the lowercase. The same thing. You use the uppercase, the whole character, whole text will be transformed into capital.
okay, sir.
So I think this is clear to all, right? So now let's move to the list. Now there are other things, other functions, but all those things are not.
Your voice is not clear.
There are other functions in the string also, right? So all those functions are not needed for data science, right? The functions which are needed for data science only I am just showing over here. Suppose I'm defining the list, the list is equal to damping ratio on damp. So this is the structure of a list where a list is defined. A list is defined by these square brackets. When these square brackets are used, that means this is a list. And within the list, these damping ratio, undamped and overdamped are called as the vectors of list. So these are basically the vectors of the list. The list is defined by a variable x, and then I'm printing the value of x and I'm getting the output list. So what is a list? A list is a collection of elements, which is a collection of vectors which are ordered and changeable, right? So a list may allow any duplicate vectors, but all of them are ordered, not randomly they are arranged, right? So if the ordered is maintained, so there may be a proper indexing is maintained, where the vectors are allocated with those particular index. So a list is basically a collection of vectors which are ordered and changeable, and it allows the duplicate values. A list is defined within a square brackets, right? So in the same manner, if I say print the value Rishit Maiti, what will be the output?
Undamped.
Oh, sorry. Just a minute. It is overdamped. Why you say it undamped?
Sir, because I thought of the second position is undamped. In that
No. It is the second one.
okay, sir. 0, 1, 2, then
Yes,
4,
Python starts with the index value
0,
0,
1.
not
Yeah,
not
yes.
not 1. So that it will be overdamped.
Yeah, got it.
So this is least indexing, or you can say accessing the items. Accessing the items in the list. Right. Ashrojit Chaudhary,
Yes, sir.
what will be the output?
Sir, undamped.
Why undamped? Let's see.
Sir, we are counting from the right hand side. So 0, then 1.
It's showing overdamped. It's showing overdamped, not undamped. Why?
Sir, but if we count from the right hand side, it will be 0, then 1. So I thought that's why, sir.
In list, our index value starts with -1 from right hand side. It starts with -1, -2, -3. Right?
Okay, sir.
That is why it is overdamped.
Okay.
So this is negative indexing. Let's say, suppose Kriti Roy Chaudhary. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain 17, 18, 19, and 20?
Yes, if we write two semicolon, then it will print from two to list rest of the factors. And if we put two and is five, then also it will denote the four.
Yes, 2 is to 5. Then what will happen?
To five, then also four. This period is four. That's why it's reading the last four.
And 19?
As there is no five, that's why it's printing the four.
2 is to 6, right?
Here is only four, five.
I'm saying that in 19, the output is given to print 2 is to 6, but is showing similar to the output of 18. Why?
There is no five number of
Why?
values.
Why it's showing like the identical?
If there is some in another value that will show, that will give the five number value. If we write discrete Fourier and then something else, then it will print that. But here is no another thing. That's why it's showing the identical.
20? In 20, it is showing only overdamped and time domain analysis. Why? Why it is
As
showing?
n minus one, so it will taking the third number.
Sorry,
As it is.
can you,
We are
can you
given
repeat?
4, it will take n minus 1.
Okay. Mm. So in the very first one, the range is not defined. Since the range is not defined, it starts with the value of index value of 2. So it will take the rest of the vectors in the list. So since if the range is not defined, from the starting value, it will take the rest values in the list. So that is why it is printing from, it starts with 2, that is 0, 1, 2, that is from overdamped to discrete Fourier. In input 18, it is saying that 2 is to 5. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 2 is to 5, as the index value of the Python takes n minus 1. So it will print up to the 4. That is overdamped, time domain, and discrete. Similarly, if we take 2 is to 6, it will also print up to 4. That is why it is overdamped, time domain, discrete Fourier. In 2 is to 4, as the Python takes the index value n minus 1, in the similar fashion, in 20, 2 is to 4 means it will go up to 3. So overdamped and time domain. because the Python takes index value n minus 1. Understood? So this is basically the range of indexing.
Sir, sir, okay. Sir, sir, can you please repeat number 19? That 2:6, that part.
See, the Python takes the value of n minus 1. So in 2:6, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in 2:6, if it goes, then it come to 2, it will take the value of 5. So here up to from the 0, 1, 2. So here up to it starts with this overdam 2, 3, 4. Since the 5 is not defined, it is undefined, it will go up to 4. That is
Okay,
why
sir, got it.
it is printing over here overdam time domain and discrete Fourier.
Okay, sir.
Now suppose x equal to x2 equal to x. Somadip Ghosh,
Yes, sir.
what will be the output?
Uh, Damping ratio, undamped, uh, overshot, time domain analysis, discrete Fourier.
So this is basically modifying the value of I say x dot append State analysis, and then print the value of x. Riya Chakraborty. Riya Chakraborty, are you there? Riya Chakraborty, are you there? Shubhadeep Roy.
Yes, sir.
What is happening over here?
What will be the?
What is happening over here?
We are adding the append function is for adding the list that on the limb. I mean, we are adding the static analysis on the list of x.
So, why the state analysis
State
is
analysis.
Located at the end. Why not in first? Why not in middle? Why it is located at end? The thing is that the append function, we all know that append function means to insert the item in the list, right? So whenever to insert an item in the list, the list has its own characteristics that it will always append its item. It always append its vectors at the end of the list, not at the middle, not at the beginning. So can we make this if I want to insert the item, or if I want to insert the vectors at the beginning of the list or at the middle of the list, what should I do? Can you say?
If we need to add the state analysis at the middle of the list, then I think we need to give some variable like append the count of the indices where I need to add the state analysis on that list.
What should I write next? What should I write? If I want to insert the state analysis at the beginning or at any position in the list, what should I write?
Sir, X third bracket on the position, third bracket close dot append state analysis.
X third bracket
on the position, If it is over after the
One.
overdone, then 4.
1.
Sorry, 3. 1. Okay, 1.
3.
After the third bracket, dot append
Dot append
state analysis in this format. I'm not just sure, sir.
then what should I write next? Print
Print X. Print first bracket on.
the string object has no attribute append.
We need to write str.append 3 on third bracket. Then it will
str
dot append. The string is not added, is showing in the error. str3.
str dot append.
No, str. I mean, we need to add str before the append. Before the append function.
Okay.
Sir,
Mm.
sir, we can use insert function to add the state analysis at the beginning of the list.
Where I should write?
Sir, x dot insert, and we have to mention the position of the list where we want to add the state analysis. So for let's say at the beginning we can add 0 comma state analysis.
So what should I write?
X dot
dot
insert.
Insert.
Then in the bracket 0.
Within the bracket 0.
0 comma.
0 comma.
Yes. Then we can run the program. It will show the or if we want to add in the middle, we can just replace the 0 from 1, 2 and 3 and 4 where we want to add the state analysis.
So if I want 2 position, it will show.
Yes, we'll add the second position. Sir, I just now run the program in my laptop.
So Riya Chakraborty, are you there? Indranil Mukhopadhyay.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain the difference between 22 and 26?
In 22, we are adding the vector state analysis in the end of that list, and in 26 we are adding the vector in between or any of the positions of the list.
So what is the difference? Difference is that whether I am inserting an element at the end of the list in the first one, whereas I am inserting the vectors at anywhere in the list. So append function is generally used to insert the element, to insert the vectors at the end of the list. When I'm using an insert function, with the help of the insert function, I can insert the vectors at anywhere in the list. In that respect, I have to mention the index value where I want to insert the vectors in the list. I have to mention the index value and the element and vector, that is the name of, that is the state analysis where I want to insert. So in insert function, I have to mention the index value and the vector which I want to insert at the particular that index value. So with insert function, I can insert any vectors at anywhere in the list, and but with the append function, the vector is appended at the end of the list. So the two insert and append are basically the two function name. Although they both are inserting the vectors in the list, but the principle of work is different. So insert and append are the two function name. X is the variable that is the name of the list, and in order to insert the element in the list, I have to use the dot operator. So with the help of the dot operator, I'm accessing the function name and I'm passing the value of the index value and the vectors where I want to which I want to insert. So within the argument, I'm passing the index value and the element and the vector which I want to insert. So I'm inserting in, that is why it is written x dot insert 2 at the second position, and I want to insert a state analysis. Therefore, the index value is 2 and the state analysis is the vector which I want to insert, and then I'm printing the value of x. I'm getting the output. So this is basically an insert method. This is the difference between an insert method and the append method. প্রিয় ঘোষ Supriya Ghosh. Supriya Ghosh, are you there? Supriya Ghosh, are you there? Subhashish Noskar. Subhashish Noskar. সৌম্যদীপ ঘোষ
Yes, sir.
If I want to remove a particular item vector from the list, what should I do?
I don't know, sir.
Subin Lalu. Subin
sir.
Lalu,
Yes, sir.
what should I do?
So we should insert remove function x dot
Dot, sorry,
x dot remove
x dot remove. Sorry.
inside the bracket or damp.
Which one you want to remove?
The second one, number 2, sir, over damp.
Then
Then
Then-
print x. Sir.
if I write in this manner, will it show? Will it show the same output?
No, sir,
Let's see. Why it is shown none?
because we have taken the list as
Because
we are removing x. We have not have any.
So because the list is representing by X, not Y.
absolutely correct. Because the list is not defined by y, it is defined by x,
Yes, sir.
right? So that is why it is not showing. Sukriti Roy Chaudhary.
Yes, sir.
If I want to remove the last item or the last vectors from the list, what should I do? Do you have any idea?
No, sir.
if I want to remove the last item in the list, what should I do?
Can we do the x dot remove -1?
List. I will write list or I will write
But
x.
we don't have any.
What should I do? Any idea?
Sir, x dot remove discrete Fourier.
X dot
Dot remove discrete Fourier inside the bracket.
remove within the bracket discrete Fourier.
And then print.
But if I say so, so what is the difference between these? Difference is that if we want to remove a particular item, but suppose we cannot able to remove the item in the list with the help of the index. So if I want to remove the particular item in the list, any item in the list, then I have to pass that vector into this remove method. Or if I similarly as in the append method, the append function is inserting the item at the end of the list. Similarly, the pop function deleting the item only at the end of the list. We're deleting the item from the list because the pop we know it's basically the that is the last in first out. So the last in will be first out, then the last is first out. That is why the discrete Fourier is removed by pop function. So this is basically a pop function. So the pop function removes the last item from the list. So with the element which is inserted into the list at the last will be removed by first, and which is used by the pop function. So this is basically a pop function. So in the pop function too, we cannot able to remove the item from the list with the index value. Right. So
Sir, you are not
Sir,
audible.
sir, sorry to interrupt. If we remove the third bracket, I think it will work.
it will work.
Yes, sir. Only two or three, anything.
Yes, so this thing and this thing is basically similar, right? You are just, this is not the index value. In the list, the indexing is defined by the third bracket, right? So with the help of the index, we are not removing the value. So if it is by default, when no value is mentioned over here, by default it is removing the item, last item from the list. So if I write 3, then it will always remove the third item from the list. So this is nothing but any difference. So this is not, that means I'm not removing the item with the help of the index value. So this is more or less similar. Next is suppose X dot X dot clear and then I'm printing the value of it. So clear function removes all the item and the list is cleared, right? So this is basically the clear method. Say x1 equal to
Sir, you are not audible.
if I say x1 is equal to this, just a minute, hold. Now say x2 equal to suppose another list of having post Fourier transform and suppose I'm writing for in suppose for using x. In capital X 2. Right. Now I am x1. I'm writing x1 dot append of append suppose x, and then if I print x capital X1, then see what happens. Its syntax.
Sir, for x1 in one x2, I guess.
What will happen?
Sir, append first bracket x2.
Append
First bracket x2, capital X2. Then print x1.
if I want to append I want to append the list 2 into list 1. What should I do?
So extend x1 dot extend x2.
Not extend. If I don't want to use extend, what should I do?
Insert.
Hmm?
Insert.
Insert how? I want to insert the element of the x2 into x1. If I don't use the extend method, without using the extend method. Any idea?
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
So we can use the plus operator like we have done earlier to concatenate two strings or store the value in another value, say x3.
If I use x2 and if I use your according to your statement
x3 equals to x1 plus x2.
one, right?
Yeah.
Extend. But I don't want this extend method.
No, sir, I am saying that plus operator, plus, like x3 equals to x1 plus x2 and
Then
print.
that is not that then I am not inserting the element into x1. That will be the joining of the two. What you are saying? You are saying like this. Right? And
Yeah.
then you are saying x3 is equal to x3 is equal to x1. Suppose x3 is equal to x1 plus x2, and then you are just printing the value of x3.
Yes, sir.
That is just the joining of the two. Other than these two, how I can insert the element of x2 into x1. Can I insert it? If I using this one, or two, two, I use x help of this append function. Okay, I will see this one. So this is basically the extend method. The list is extended by these two, right? This extend function is extended. List one is extended by list two. This is basically the joining of list. List two is basically the joining of another thing is that I say simple. Suppose one say that x is equal to x1 dot count time domain. Then I want to print the value of x. Now so this is your task. The task is why it is showing 1 over here. 1 should be undamped, right? But this is the why it is showing 1. Kaushik Bera, can you say
Yes, sir.
why it is showing 1?
Hmm.
Gargi Vishwas, why it is showing 1?
So it is showing the count of that word and it is present only once in this line. That's why.
So it is counted only once. That is why it is showing 1.
Yes, sir.
So the count function is basically counted the items. So it is to show here all the items are counted 1. So the output will be always 1. So I will wrap over here today, and it is your task that how the least can be the least 1 and the least 2. How the items of least 1 is can be extended, can be inserted into the item least 2 without using this extend function and the joining of list. How it can be done? Can you able to do it without using these two functions? You have to use a loop structure, and how you can able to do it? Can you able to do? Please try, and otherwise I will show. Okay, so I will stop over here today, right? Everybody understood what I had said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So from the next class, we will complete the list and move to the tuple.
Sir?
In the next class, we will complete